Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today, got a special guest on talking to you about how you can live up to your fullest potential. She is an award-winning TV show host here in the St. Louis area. And I can't wait for you guys to get to hear Arman. Amazing young lady. So we're going to get all the way into that. And you're going to learn how to maximize your full potential today. But I need you to do me a favor. Comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. And smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen, because y'all know how we do it early on a Monday morning. Let's kick it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, coming to you live and direct from the Bob Crane Financial and Tax Planning Services Studios right here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you do not have a good tax planner in your life, then you need one. A lot of times we don't understand the difference between tax planning and tax preparing, right? Come next year, you're going to have somebody prepare your taxes, but did you have someone helping you plan your taxes all year long so that you can maximize what I believe is the number one wealth building tool in the world, and that is United States Tax Code. Comment keyword tax planning, and I will put you in touch with my good friend, Bob Crane. Also, for those of you who are entrepreneurs and you're trying to figure out how to put your retirement in place, right? And you guys know if you're an entrepreneur, you're self-employed, you don't have a 401k on a job. You got to build your own 401k. You don't have someone matching your contributions. You got to do all of that for yourself, but you can with the right help. Bob Crane is that right help. So make sure you comment keyword tax planning so I can get you the help that you need. Couple quick announcements before we bring you our special guest. Arman is in the building today talking about maximizing your full potential. She's an award-winning activist here in the St. Louis community and host of the Tiara Speaks show on the Unheard TV network in St. Louis. So I'm super excited to talk to her. But for those of you who do not know, the Monetize My Life Academy $1 trial is going away at the end of this month. So what does that mean? You still got the opportunity to get into Monetize My Life Academy for just $1 for the first 30 days. It is the premier digital marketing mastermind for entrepreneurs trying to grow their business and their brand online. You can test this for a full 30 days. And if you like it, you stick around for $50 a month. If you don't, you can cancel at any time. Also, for those of you who are local to St. Louis, we are hosting an event to get you ramped up for the holiday shopping season called Digital Marketing Decoded. Are you prepared to take advantage of all of the money that's about to start flowing this holiday season? That's right. We're going to show you how to set up your social media correctly, how to monetize, how to capture leads, how to really create a strong digital presence online. That's going down live and in person in St. Louis this Sunday, 3 p.m. At 2055 Walton Road, that's St. Louis, Missouri, 63114. If you are local and you're interested in that event, hit me up so I can make sure I get you RSVP'd so we can bring you in and bring you up to speed on all things digital marketing, social media, internet, email marketing, everything that you need to capitalize on this holiday season so that you can maximize your revenue that will prepare you and propel you into 2022. So last but not least, I also am looking for sponsors for this new project. If you want to get your business and or your brand in front of tens of thousands of people around the world, then you want to holler at your boy about sponsoring the brand new show that will be revealed in the coming weeks. So super excited about that. So now let me bring on my very special guest. Some of you guys may know this young lady. She's a powerhouse speaker. She's a powerhouse trainer. She's a powerhouse activist in the local community. She's doing great work. She is the host of the Tierra Speaks talk show on the Unheard Media Network. So let me introduce to some of you guys and present to some of you guys, some of you other guys who may not know this powerhouse, Madam Tierra Arman. How are you doing this morning, sis?
I am doing well. How about yourself?
I am doing extremely well. Also, super excited to be having this conversation with you as we are now brethren and sisterin in the Unheard TV network. And I'm super excited about all of the things that you got going on. But before we get into any of that, Tara, I like to start the show with the quote of the day. And this is simply me giving one of my favorite quotes. I start my day with personal growth and self-development when I'm working out. And I usually hear something that sticks with me, and I bring that to the show every morning. So you can either comment on my quote or you can share one of your own favorite quotes as well. But the quote is this: people will never rise beyond the opinion of themselves. They will never rise beyond the opinion of themselves. Do you have a favorite quote, or do you want to chime in on that one?
You know, I do, but I want to chime in on that. That is, we are our worst critic. We give the worst criticism to ourselves. We stay down on ourselves for everything, no matter what it is that we do. We can get the opinions of other people. We can get the accolades from other people. But if we don't believe in ourselves and have the confidence in what we are doing and who we are, everything else means nothing.
Yeah, that you are 100% right with that. How you see yourself is the only limitation that you need to be worried about. Sometimes we look at other people and be like, man, they holding me down. Nah, they ain't holding you down. You holding you down because you believing what those other people are saying, and you are seeing in your mirror the picture that they are painting of you. And we got to break that. So I know you got your own special quote as well. So go ahead and share yours too.
So my special quote is 3 things. Dare to be different. So be okay with stepping out on faith and just taking a chance with who you are. Live to inspire. Remember that somebody is always watching, right? You never know who's watching you. A lot of times there are people watching you that you don't even know or that you don't know personally. So remember that you're leaving some type of legacy because somebody is following or listening to what it is that you're doing. And be authentically who you are. No matter what, just be who you are. It doesn't matter how anybody else feels about it, but you have to be comfortable within yourself and, again, what you're doing. So be you, no matter what.
I love that. I think we struggle in a society that really rewards us for blending in, right?
Absolutely.
And because of that, that's what we want to do. But at the same time, we're blending in. We are looking up to trailblazers who stood out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, we got to fix that. It's like, there's a quote that says, you will never be outstanding until you're willing to stand out. And I think that is so powerful, because if you don't want to stand out away from the crowd and be ostracized and potentially looked at funny, because everybody is until their thing hits. And then everybody's like, oh, I knew it was going to be a success from the beginning, right? So that is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you again by my good friend Bob Crane and his financial and tax planning services. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I can't stress to you guys enough, the number one wealth building tool in the entire world is the United States tax code. But like any other tool, you have to respect it and you have to learn how to use it properly. And that comes with training from someone who's got 30 plus years in the game, teaching people how to leverage the tax code to build wealth. And that is my good friend Bob Crane. So make sure that you comment keyword tax planning if you want me to connect you with Bob, and he will get you into the services that you need. So Tiara, I ask everybody who comes on this show, who the heck are you?
So as you said, I am Tiara Arman, and I am a wife, a mom, an educator, a coach. I am just little old me from the north side of St. Louis. I am the person that has now stepped into my own and kind of learned who I really am, or maybe brought it back out, so to speak. I'm the person that loves growth. I love growing. I love talking about the challenges and the struggles in our journey. Within myself, I am getting more comfortable with being transparent about my own journey, and I love helping others figure out who they are. So I am your purpose coach. I will coach you to and through your purpose. A lot of times we fight our purpose and say that we don't know what it is, but 10 times out of 10, our purpose has already found us. We got to find our way back to it. Yeah. So, that's me. And of course, I'm the host of the brand new Tiara Speaks talk show on Unheard TV.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, listen, let's get into the Tiara before finding her way back to herself, because I think this is critically important. And you talk about one of my favorite words, which is transparency.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we get to a place where we are unwilling to admit to ourselves the junk that we've been through, and the fact that 90% of it is self-inflicted, right? Let's help the people this morning. So north side of St. Louis, man. At one point, the murder capital of the world. How was that upbringing for Tiara?
Just living on the north side, to be honest, back in my day when I was younger, of course there was crime and gangs, and everything that everybody in the hood have to deal with. But the thing that I loved about that was, even though we had the crime and the gangs and the everybody, as people say, the thugs or whatever you want to call them, they were family though. We had, your block was family. Everybody, I always say, and I laugh and I tell my students sometimes, back in our day, everybody on the block could get you. So if you got in trouble at school and you came home, or you got in trouble on the block, everybody in the block could get you. And then when your people got home, you was gonna get got again. I remember being about 11 and being in the middle of a conversation with some of the neighborhood uh thugs, as we say, or gang members, and I was chiming in into a conversation that I really shouldn't have been in, shouldn't even have heard about. And from that moment, I remember my parents were at work, but they took a group of us, a group of the youth, around the corner to Williams Elementary School. And they signed us up to in sports and activities. And then when our parents came home, they said, "Hey, they did this." We don't have any of that now. So I remember doing that and then going into Herbert Hoover Boys and Girls Club and just trying to figure out who I was, what it was that I wanted to do. But I was given that opportunity.
Yeah.
And it was hard just trying to figure out who you are and be who you are, but also not fall into what the neighborhood had going on. And like I said, at that time, I was 11. So imagine an 11-year-old looking and thinking that the street life and what's going on in a neighborhood was the best thing around.
Yeah. And that's hard for that age and being very impressionable. And it's good that you had some adults to take an interest enough to say, listen, if we don't give them some other options, we know that the current society, the media is forcing them down the wrong road with all of the violence that is being shown to our babies. Even back in our day, I remember when graduating from 8th grade and the movies Colors came out, and how that really perpetuated the gang life and glorified it in a way that everybody wanted to be gang affiliated, right?
Yeah.
But you guys had someone that says, let's get these kids involved in some sports. Let's get them at least exposed to some opportunities in some other areas so that they can get on that path to self-discovery. So at 11 years old, you're trying to figure some things out for yourself and not be caught up in what I like to say. I think MC8 said it best: the hood took me under, right? You were trying to avoid the hood taking you under.
Absolutely.
So how did you navigate through high school and get to a place where you were, I'm guessing you escaped that, maybe not unscathed, but escaped it nevertheless. So from 11 years old through high school, what were some of the things that you did to help keep you on the straight and narrow?
You know what? For me, it was making a change, right? Knowing that I didn't want to be like my environment, knowing that I didn't want to necessarily be like everybody that was around me. And the thing about it was they pushed us to not be like them. They were fine with who they were, but they didn't want us to be like them. So it was that I had other dreams and aspirations that I wanted to follow. I was a huge part of Herbert Hoover Boys and Girls Club. I was there every day after school. And there were people that mentored us. There were people that helped us with our homework. There were people that made sure our teeth were straight and clean. We learned how to swim and like character building. We just learned who we are. We did a lot with social emotional. So for me, it was, I wanted to get out and be able to step on the other side of that, but also be able to come back and say, hey, I did this, so you can too.
Yeah.
So for me, it was the motivation of being able to stand in my own and follow my own dreams. But part of that dream was to always be able to come back and help the next person do the same.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, Tiara, we are going to continue to get into that story, and then I want to know how you transitioned into, it seems like it's always been in you to help others on their journey to self-discovery and fulfilling their potential, but I'm sure there's a path that got you to that. But before we go there, we've got to get to what I call 1 minute motivation. That's where we play a short motivational clip, usually about 60, maybe 90 seconds. And I want you to just listen and share with the audience what you heard from it. I'm huge on personal growth and self-development. And the one thing I'm constantly trying to get people to see people think that personal growth is only when you're doing something positive. If you're listening to E.T. or Tony Robbins, or no, everything you consume contributes to your personal growth. The question is, are you growing in the right direction based on what you're consuming? So we're going to jump into 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the Tierra Arman version. Let's get it.
If you can see it in your mind, if you can believe it in your heart, if you have the courage to speak it, if you have the courage to own it and the desire to work for it, you can bring it into your reality. There's nothing off limits. There are no limitations.
There are no limitations to those who believe and those who are willing to work for their dream.
You have to see it in your mind before you can see it in your reality. You have to be a visionary.
Picture everything you want so clearly in your mind until you can see it right in front of you. Write it all down on a piece of paper. Create a vision board. Then you will have evidence in the future. Evidence of the amazing power of your mind. The amazing power of you.
If all you ever do is live by what is in front of you, reacting to the life in front of you, you will never move beyond the life that is in front of you. You have to be able to see outside of your current situation. You must be able to acknowledge where you are in life, but know you are capable of creating so much more. Know that where you are right now is not your life.
You are where you are right now because of your past decisions and your past beliefs.
Hoo-wee! That's how I like to start on my day.
Listen, you playing today all day.
Listen, the reason I love this is because we all just listen to the same clip. But because we are all in different places in our lives, we all heard something different. So what did you hear?
Purpose. Purpose. Accepting your purpose. Like really, truly accepting it. And then owning your purpose, owning who you are and what it is that you're here for. And then living in it. Absolutely living in it. And just being able to see it. I'm very, very big on vision boards. We do them every year. We do a big vision board event. And I'm very big on just being able to see what it is and who you are. And the thing about purpose and the thing about that motivation is it's visual. You see it. You already see it. Before you own it, before you realize it, you're already seeing it. But are you paying attention to what is being shown to you? Are you paying attention to the notes that you're getting? Are you paying attention to the tips that you're getting? Are you paying attention to the people that have been strategically placed around you to help you get into your purpose? And then own it. Own it and live in it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. He said, if you can see it, believe it, and have the courage to speak it.
Absolutely.
Then own it and have the will to go work for it. Nothing's impossible. Nothing.
Unstoppable.
You literally have no limits, right? Be visionary. Be proactively intentional. I think that a lot of people miss the fact that we are all gods. We are all responsible for creating the world that we live in. Just like God created the universe, we are creating a universe for ourselves. And if my world is upside down, it's because I did that. And the scariest thing I believe here for most people is that you are fully responsible for messing this thing up, but you are also fully responsible and capable of fixing it. And that's what I believe scares people. And it's easier to point the finger at somebody else, because if I say somebody else caused it, then what I'm doing subconsciously is saying that it's somebody else's responsibility to fix it.
Absolutely. I don't
but
have
if
to
I
own
can
it.
say, I caused it, then I can say, if I caused it, then I can fix it. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by the Cortez Hustle Challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that I love helping everyday hardworking people do is make money more efficiently. And we've got this tool called the internet and this industry called affiliate marketing, where you could literally take your cell phone and you can make money promoting other people's product. And that's what the Cortez Hustle Challenge is all about. If you are looking for a way to make some side income, right, then you want to take the Cortez Hustle Challenge. You can sign up for free. Just go listen to the short video that explains everything that we got going on, and then you get to partner with me and my team, and we help you make money on the internet using your cell phone, right? They say do something smart with your smartphone, turn it into a way to make some extra money. The Cortez Hustle Challenge. So if you go to CortezHustleChallenge.com or comment keyword challenge, I will get you the information that you need for that. So Tiara,
yeah,
you went through at 11, starts trying to figure out, okay, what I see around me is not the life that I want. And I see people going different paths and different directions. You fell in love with the Boys and Girls Club and the coaching and the mentorship and the culture that they created down there at Herbert Hoover. Shout out to them, still doing their thing to this day, serving hundreds of kids daily. But then you got through high school and all that kind of stuff. And then what was the next step on that journey for you?
So the funny thing is, I didn't look at my love for helping people as being a part of what I was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Not in that realm anyway. I actually graduated high school and I went to Jackson State University and initially went in pre-med because in my mind, I wanted to be a pediatrician.
Gotcha.
That turned into me wanting to run my own youth center, which is still on the page, but I also wanted to have a health center inside of it. Gotcha. So I changed my major, as we all know, sometimes it happens. And I went into healthcare administration. So I have a bachelor's in healthcare administration and later got my master's in human resource management. I went through a terrible relationship, terrible breakup. I ended up moving back here to St. Louis and I did retail for a while. The thing about it was I had a healthcare administration degree, but when I went to apply for these positions, 3 things. I was young, Black, 4 things, young, Black, educated female. And I kept hitting a brick wall, And I remember one of the doctors that was interviewing me, helping his counterpart, specifically saying, I'm going to be honest with you, you are a great potential, but he's not going to hire you. And it was like, okay.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Because this is my gripe with college and university, right? Not that I have anything against higher education, higher learning, but our system that promotes higher education and higher learning is deceiving the heck out of our children because they sell it, and I am very careful with my words. They sell it to our children as if it is the only way to succeed, and they also sell it as if it's a guaranteed way to succeed. And I think you and I both know that neither one of those are true, but I think there's an industry and a market that says, listen, for people like you, nobody told you going into this field and getting this degree and this master's in this area that it was going to be hard to crack the door, right? No. Not to say that you wouldn't have gone that way anyway, but nobody said that, listen, in this particular industry, I can count on one hand how many healthcare administrators are gainfully employed in the state of Missouri. And nobody is saying, okay, let me coach you through or creating a path that's going to get that door open for you or anything like that. So what was that experience like, hearing that doctor say, listen, you got the goods, you got the degree, you got the intelligence, I can tell you're sharp, but you don't come in the right shade. So what did that ultimately feel like?
It was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
On one end, it was mind-blowing, and on the other end, it was, you know what, I really didn't get this to step into somebody else's. I got this to eventually have my own.
Yeah.
So granted, it hurt. It was very mind-blowing, and it was a shock, but at the same time, it was okay. So let's figure out how to jump back into what it is that I really want to do. How are we going to do that? And at the time, mentoring youth, I was still doing it on the side, but that kept coming back up and kept coming back up. Eventually, I jumped into retail for about 6 or 7 years, and although it was good, I just couldn't take it anymore. Get back into the youth, so I applied with the state, and I ended up working for Division of Youth Services for a couple of years before jumping into the educational realm. And it was, it was hard, but I got a peace of mind when I jumped back into working with youth, right? I had been doing it on the side, but when I jumped back into it full time, it was like, okay. So this is really a part of what I'm supposed to do. But again, in my mind, I'm thinking this is just my passion, just something I love to do. And so I'm comfortable in it, right?
Right.
Not knowing that all along, I've been living in my purpose since I was a good 15 years old, way back at Harvard Pool Boys and Girls Club, not even realizing it.
Yeah.
And I remember even then being told, oh, you're going to be this big time speaker. Oh, you have this story to tell, even back then, and you're going to write a book. What y'all talking about? Anybody writing a book? I'm speaking. What are you talking about? But not understanding that I was already doing those things.
Yeah.
At 15, 16, 17 years old. I just didn't look at it like that. It was just something that I love to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. In your employment with the state and even in retail, and I go here with all of my female guests, especially my Black female guests. I should say I go here with all of my Black female guests because we know now that entrepreneurship, Black females are the fastest growing segment of entrepreneurship. And I theorize it's because sisters got tired of assimilating. Sisters get tired of being held to a different standard in terms of demand on workload, where others who are not of the culture get passes and all that kind of stuff. Did you experience any of that, whether it was overt or covert racism, sexism, that contributed to your decision to want to really, really go hard at doing your own thing and building your own?
Absolutely. So retail, I got looked over promotion 3 times for somebody that didn't look like me, somebody that didn't have the education that I had or the experience. And I was just, just over it. So was ready, like I say, to jump back into youth. And the thing about it, while I was at Division of Youth Services and then switching over to education, again, it's the love of being able to help others, right? And the thing about it is our youth are our future. And who are we not to help them navigate through their challenges and their struggles and the self-confidence, the low self-esteem, their home life, the neighborhood, their environment, and then getting an education. And as you said, I strongly believe college isn't for everybody. Sometimes it's best for the person to go straight into the career field. A lot of times it's great just to go into entrepreneurship, but we have to start it early, right?
Yeah.
So for me, my family I have a long line of entrepreneurs in my family. So at some point, I knew that entrepreneurship was for me. I just didn't know which realm then or which way to step into it.
Gotcha.
And then life happens, so you just never know. Again, you working for others, you have bills, you have life that you have to take care of. So then there's finding the time to step into what it is that you really want to do.
Gotcha. Let's talk about that. What was the first venture into entrepreneurship? First, something that you did on your own as an entrepreneur.
First, something that I did on my own as an entrepreneur is I started a social and corporate event planning business called Moments and Dreams Come True.
Okay.
June of 2017. I loved the business. My cousins taught it to me when I was younger. So it was kind of something that I did on the side in college. We all had to have some side hustle, something going on in college. When you're a college student, got to eat. So the summer of 2017, I had just had my son a few months earlier, and I'm an educator, so I don't work during the summer, but I would go back to Herbert Hoover during the summer. And my husband's like, oh, hey, you know what? Take the summer off. Just do something you always wanted to do. So I started taking business classes at the library and Grace Hill's Women in Business program. And one of the best decisions could have ever made. And my very first business was started that summer. Nice. Although I am not doing it anymore. But it had its purpose, right? Absolutely. I was supposed to start with that business. I was supposed to work through the kinks. I was supposed to learn operations. I was supposed to continue the relationship building. I was supposed to do all of my first with that business.
Absolutely. And most of us will find, and this is why the Cortez Hustle Show even exists, because people who are on the fence about entrepreneurship or just getting started in entrepreneurship or have got a business going and they feel that they're being led somewhere else, they need to hear that story and say, listen, it's okay to pivot.
Absolutely.
Listen, it's okay to now, because of that experience, you've unlocked something in yourself that says, oh, okay, now I get what I really am supposed to be doing, and then go do that, right? Again, it comes back to a lot of times what we think other people are going to think about us. If I stop doing this business and start doing this business, people are going to say, you jumping all over the place. Well, when you start working at this company and start working at this company and start working at that company and went and got a job over at that company because they paid a little bit more, nobody says you jumping all over the place.
It's the exact same thing, right?
they say you trying to get to the bag,
right?
That's all I'm trying to do in my business. I'm trying to find the right business that's going to be my legacy company that I'm going to be able to leave to my children. And if it takes me 10 businesses to find it, it takes me 10 businesses to find it. So transition, fast forward. You knew that youth was your thing. You won awards and been highly decorated for your work in the Boys and Girls Club. So kudos and congrats on all of those things.
Thank you.
But then what was the transition to the real deal? Okay, this is the purpose-driven business now. And what is that? And what does that look like for you?
So it was it was two extensions to that. From there, I started Daring Inspired Youth, where I got youth to their potential through character development. So I do a lot of social emotional life skill learning, mentorship, college and career readiness. And then I have partnerships where we're able to offer financial literacy and cooking classes and kid entrepreneur classes as well. And I do an annual Daring Inspired Youth Gala. And we honor 7 youth just for being who they are. Our youth don't get a chance to just be kids.
That's right.
So we highlight them and let them show off their talents. We have kid entrepreneurs that have their businesses out. We have youth DJ, a youth speaker, a youth host, youth performers. Everything is about them. A lot of times we go to galas and the youth benefit from it, but we don't get to actually see them. So within this gala, you get to see the youth do everything. The only thing I do is welcome everybody and thank everybody. And then we also give away a $500 scholarship every year. So then that took off immediately and continued. And so here comes this thing about being a speaker again. Don't know where that's coming from. Here comes this thing about you have a story to tell. You're going to be an author. Don't know who told you that.
Right.
And again, it was hearing the same things that I had being told when I was about 15, about 6 or 7 years ago. I met Tina Adams Turnipseed and JPCEO, and here comes the same thing over and over again. I joined Black Women's Networking, and the very first year that I joined, I feel like, oh, this isn't for me. But what it was God putting me in position to step into who I am and who I'm supposed to be and who I am now. So that entire year, they kept in touch with me and continued oh, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And no, I'm not. And so exactly a year later, I started realizing and really seeing what I was being told. But again, I still fought it. And let me tell y'all, it's not easy. It is not easy when you've been fighting something for so long. It is not easy. And it wasn't, it was very, very hard. And immediately when I put myself out there, I had like 3 speaking engagements in the first month of jumping into Daring Inspired Youth and Tierra Speaks, right? And it was like, okay, I can do this. But again, I love to do this. It's just something that I do. I'm just passionate about it. Still not realizing this is where I'm supposed to be. This is a part of my purpose. And I just, it continued, right? And so I was sitting in a check-in meeting one day with Tina, and I got this email that asked me a proposition. Stride Publishing wanted me to be a part of this huge project that they had that was supposed to be 10 authors, 10 women coming together to talk about our trials and tribulations as women in business, both professionally and personally. Because when you're in business, you have to deal with both sides of it, right?
That's right.
And again, as women, sometimes we have it harder than others. So it was like, oh, this is nice, but I'm not going to be an author, And then it was like, this publishing fee got to be $1 million anyway, So yeah, no, not right now. Right. And Tina was like, well, just see what she's talking about. So, we asked, okay, well, what is the project about? What is the publishing fee? Can I get details on it? So she sent everything back, and she was like, oh, the publishing fee is $100. So I said, she must have left out a zero, Tina. Let me email her back, right? And I'm like, did you leave out a 0 or 2? And she was like, no, it's $100. It'll be 10 authors. Everybody pays $100, and this is all it's included. And everybody writes their own chapter. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I'm talking to Tina, and I was like, well, it doesn't matter because I don't have $100 now anyway. And again, I don't know who told y'all I was writing a book. And so I literally turned around. And when I turned back to email her and say, thanks for the opportunity, thanks for thinking of me, Tina put her card down and was like, go ahead and tell her you'll accept. And at that point, it was like, okay, something clicked where are you going to continue to push back and run away? Or are you going to go ahead and step into this and just see what it's all about? Not saying that I have to stay in it, but why not take a chance on myself when other people are trying to take a chance on me? And this publishing company, I had never met the email. She was just watching my presence on social media and everything I had going on, and wanted me, thought I would be a great asset to the project. So I went ahead and accepted. And what I tell you, I had 2.5 to 3 months to write one chapter, and it wasn't done when it was due. And this is where, the challenge comes, right? This is something that I've never done. Mine is like, oh, I know everything. I can start writing. But I would write and stop and write and stop, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So then it was, Tierra, where's your outline? I need an outline. And then it was, you write a paper, you need an outline, right? I'm like, okay, well, yeah. So then I created the outline. So then it was like, okay, I can get the flow. I'm going. But then now I'm reliving situations and talking about my testimony, things that I haven't talked about or dealt with in years. So now I'm having emotional breakdowns because I'm crying through it and I'm writing, and I have to stop to gather myself. So when I look up, it's due.
Right.
And it's not complete. So I eventually asked for a day or two longer, and she granted it to me. And I sat at the table maybe from 2 to 7 and completed it and turned it in. Good to say that I did take a chance on myself. I'm glad I did. That book, Lipstick Stories, Volume 1, came out. And when I tell you, it's one of the best decisions I could have ever made.
Yeah.
From that book, I became an international speaker during COVID. Let's say that.
Wow.
I became an international speaker during COVID virtually. I created a book signing series. I was able to have one in-person book signing, and it was right at the point where we couldn't have any more than 50 people at an event. Yeah. I had right at 50 people at my book signing when the call came through that you couldn't have any more than 50 people. And, I have friends there like, hey, look at what you're doing. Just step back and look.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been an amazing journey.
Amazing. And I know the feeling of running from a calling, right?
Yeah.
I started after literally losing my mind and getting back on my feet from homelessness and everything. I went through Better Family Life's program to get me back employed, right? And one of the first jobs that I got was over at what used to be Converges. It's different now, but it's call center work, right? And I would answer 120 calls a day, and I would hear people all the time say, man, anybody ever tell you sound like Denzel? Anybody ever tell you sound like Morgan Freeman? Man, you got a voice for radio. Man, what are you doing with that voice on this phone? You should be doing something with that voice.
Yeah.
And to your point earlier, people who are speaking into you that you're going to be a speaker and an author and I didn't realize at the time all of those people were speaking into my life, that here I am 20 years later using my voice to not only inspire, but also feed my family with podcasting and now the new show on Unheard TV. So kudos to you for ultimately taking that leap of faith and stepping out into the unknown. One thing I know about purpose, right? And I believe that we all have these passions for that reason, so that our passion will lead us to our purpose. And the one thing I know about the God I serve, he doesn't dare create you for a specific reason. Then when you figure out that reason and start doing that thing he created you for, then tell you that you got to figure out how to feed, clothe, and entertain yourself. No, when you start doing what he built you for, all of that stuff comes with it.
Absolutely.
So here you are walking in your purpose now and helping other people walk in their purpose and understand and uncover their fullest potential. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
Now it is time for what we call freestyle, because I know you got bars, Tiara. It's time for you to drop some bars on my people.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So freestyle is not about hip hop or rapping. I'm not going to put on some music or beatbox for you. But freestyle is all about you. As I'm building this media empire that will one day surpass Walt Disney and Ted Turner, I don't always ask the right questions, right? And sometimes the conversation doesn't always evolve to where we want it to go. So this is a moment for you to take 90 seconds to 2 minutes and just either there's something that needs to be reiterated that you wanted to say, or there's something that you haven't gotten a chance to say. I want you to make sure that you get to say what you wanted to say to the people this morning. So let's get into freestyle right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the Tiara Arman version. Hit them with your best bar, sis.
You know what? I would say no matter what you do, figure out what your dare, live, and be is. So what I mean by that is dare to be different, right? For me, dare to be different means to step out on faith and take a chance on yourself. do something different. Everybody is always like, for instance, I'm a speaker. There are several speakers out here in the world, but guess what? Nobody can do it like I do it, right? Nobody can focus on purpose or empowerment like I do because I have my own experiences. So be okay with doing that and learn how to dare to be different daily. And it's going to take some time, because we all have our routines and different things that we do, but figure out what your dare is, what your dare to be different is, and be able to incorporate it in your everyday life. Number 2, live to inspire. I say it again, y'all. You never know who is watching you. You never know who is seeing what it is that you're doing. You never know who you're touching or what it is that somebody else needs to hear or see, but they may hear or see it from you. So make sure that you're leaving some type of legacy, right? Because again, somebody's always watching and you're watching yourself. So you're not even just inspiring yourself, you're inspiring others. And 3, while doing it, be authentically who you are. Be okay with being in your own skin. And a lot of times, what I'll say is either go back into your inner you and pull her or him back out, or figure out who the new you is supposed to be, because you may be sitting around being what everybody else wants you to be instead of being who you need to be. And you can do that. I have my 30-day empowerment journal, a guide to dare, live, and be. It's a self-guided journal that walks you through figuring out your dare, live, and be for 30 days. But as always, we got to start off with figuring out what is our fear, what is holding us back. Yeah. And once you figure that out, you can maneuver through that, work through that in order to jump into stepping over it and stepping on it and breaking through that fear and just being who you are as you dare to be different, live to inspire, and be authentically you.
Love it, love it, love it. That is freestyle. Drop the mic, sisters. That's bars. A couple things you said that resonate with me. I was just sharing with my wife. If you didn't see, if those of you watching are not familiar with Damon John's Black Entrepreneur Day, I heard a clip from Tyra Banks, and she said, different is better than better. And my wife thought I was crazy because whenever I hear something that resonates with me as a marketer, as someone who uses content to get people to move and make decisions. Every time I hear something like that, it's just phenomenal because that is the truth. A lot of us, especially entrepreneurs, are trying to be better than the next entrepreneur. I don't got to be better than nobody else doing a podcast. I just got to be different. And guess what?
Yeah.
If I'm being me, I'm different automatically.
Absolutely.
And then you said legacy, right? Something else that resonates with me. But what people got to understand, Tiara, is you're leaving a legacy whether you want to or not.
Absolutely.
Question is, are you being intentional about the legacy that you're leaving? Because when it's all said and done, you're either going to leave your mark or you're going to leave a stain. But you're leaving something.
You're leaving something.
So I've decided that I'm going to leave a mark that I'm intentionally creating in this. So do me a huge favor, Tiara, before I shout out my sponsors one last time before we get out of here. Tell everybody how they can connect with you in the best way.
Absolutely. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Tiara Speaks, and subscribe to our website at www.tiaraarman.com. You can also find the Tiara Speaks podcast across all podcasting platforms and the brand new Tiara Speaks talk show on Unheard TV on Roku.
Love it, love it, love it, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget to pick up the journal. I'll put the link to the journal in the comments and in the show notes if you're watching on or if you're listening to this later on the iTunes or Stitcher or wherever. Do me a favor, y'all. Hit that share button. Somebody on your timeline needs to see this. If you are listening to this on iTunes, on iHeart, wherever you love your podcast, hit that share button. Somebody you're connected with needs to hear this. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have been listening to and learning from Tiara Arman, multifaceted entrepreneur, speaker, author, trainer, youth coach, mentor, and inspiration to so many people. We need more like you, sis.
Thank you.
I can't say it enough. A lot of times we sit back and we judge our babies instead of getting in the trenches with them. Because that's all they need is someone to tell them, just like somebody told you, just like somebody told me, you're an entrepreneur. Your voice can do something, right? You have a voice. They need somebody telling them that. And it doesn't cost a whole lot to go to a Boys and Girls Club and say, hey, I got something that I would like to share. Or if you need someone to talk to these young people, I'm open and I'm willing to volunteer that. So thank God that you have done that and you've done it very well. So last shout out to my sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. If you are in the market for a financial planner or tax planner, then Bob Crane's Financial and Tax Planning Services is the place for you to go for that comment keyword tax planner. If you're watching this on the Facebook or YouTube Live, or you can click on the link in the show notes to get Bob's services. He's amazing at what he does. If you are a hardworking individual and you're trying to figure out, man, if I can just make an extra $200-300 a month, that'll go a long way towards me getting out of debt. That'll go a long way towards investing into my retirement future. Then take the Cortez Hustle Challenge. It's all about leveraging the power of the internet and social media. We train you on every aspect of making money online. So that's a way that you can easily add a couple $100 a month to your household. And we can even teach you how to best leverage that newfound income so that it goes a lot further. Don't forget, grab Tiara's 30-day journal. And super excited that you decided to come hang out with us a little bit this morning. Any last words?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And just listen. Just enjoy life, be you, and take a little bit of self-care for yourself.
Love it. Yeah. And let me talk to my brothers on that self-care thing. Self-care ain't about women only, right? I know a lot of brothers who think self-care is a woman thing. No. Bro, as hard as you work, as much as demanded of you, you need to go and take you a chill pill. You need to go take you a walk through nature and just listen to your inner voice, right? You need to sit down in a quiet place and pull out some things that you want to see for yourself and create you a vision board. So take care of yourself, people. So that's it for the Cortez Hustle Show today. Shout out to our special guest here, Arman. Thank you so much for coming. Until we talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. So hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.